गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनं श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। Om. Dear friends, we are in this 8th Adhyaya. We read this 22nd shloka in the last class. The context is that of Akshara Brahma. That is, we are talking about these three shlokas. This is 20th, 21st and 22nd. These three shlokas I was telling you, these three talk about this Parabrahma or the Supreme Brahman. And in that, say this 22nd shloka we read. That is, Purushassa Parah Partha Bhaktya Labhyastvananyaya Yasyantasthani Bhutani Yena Sarvamidam Tatam. So this I read and I was in the process of explaining. So this shloka says, Purushaha sa Paraha. Paraha sa Purushaha Paraha. That Purusha is supreme. Purusha is that which is indwelling in everything. That is indweller of all. That is Puri Shete iti Purushaha. That which is there in all beings. That is what is Purusha. Sa Purushaha Paraha. Hey Partha. And how is he to be attained? How is he or how is that to be attained? Bhaktya labhyastu ananyaya. Ananyaya bhaktya labhyaha. Ananya, I was explaining. Anya means something apart from you, something different from you. That is thinking that God is separate from you, something different from you. Ananya is, that is Aham Brahmasmi, that awareness that I am that Brahman. Ananyaya, this is not different from me. That is Ananya Bhakti. Bhaktya labhyastu ananyaya. That is Anya Bhakti and Ananya Bhakti we have to see. Then, Yasya Antasthani Bhutani. All these Bhutani, Bhutani means all the beings, Tasya Antasthani, they are all in it. That is, not that is they are physically in it, it is not as though you take a huge balloon-like thing and in all that huge bag, is not something like a hold-all in which you put everything. It is not like that. That is, consciousness is the thing in which everything exists. That supreme existence, consciousness and infinitude, this is what characterizes Brahman. And whatever you conceive, it exists only in that. It cannot be apart from that. So that is the meaning of Yasya Antasthani. Not that one world is located here, another world is located here. You can, if there is a world to be somewhere, you can also draw some coordinates, some x, y, z coordinates. And then of course now they say about a fourth coordinate and whatnot. Whatever it is, you can physically draw some coordinates and then locate its place. It's not like that. It is only a visualization. It is a visualization. All these things, whatever you visualize, is in that supreme consciousness only. In that sense, Antasthani Bhutani, Yena Sarvamidam Tatam. This whole thing is Tatam means Vyaptam. Vyaptam is pervaded by this Atman, by this Brahman. So let us see the Bhashyam. Purusha iti. Purushaha Purishayanat. Purnatvadva. Purishayanat is one definition. Purnatvat is one definition. Purishayanat is that which is dwelling in everything. Purnatvat means by this everything is Purnam. By this everything is complete. Because this is infinite. So from that sense, from that point of view, it is Purna or Purusha. Then Sa Paraha Partha. Paraha Niratishayaha. Yasmat Purushan na param kinchit. Saha. Bhaktya labhyastu. Jnana Lakshanaya. Ananyaya. Atma Vishayaya. Okay, he is explaining two words here. One is Paraha. Sa Purusha Partha. Sa Paraha. Partha. Paraha is, what is that Paraha? Niratishayaha. We have come across this earlier. Niratishaya means unparalleled. There is nothing beyond that. Atishaya means something beyond. There exists something beyond that. Niratishaya means nothing exists beyond that. Unparalleled. Yasmat Purushan na param kinchit. Beyond that there is nothing. Beyond that there is nothing means You have gone from one to say this cause effect say cycle or cause effect chain, let us say. You have taken one karyam and you have gone to its karanam. And this karanam again is an effect of some other cause, and this cause again is an effect of some other cause. You have gone through this chain and then ultimately reached that supreme Brahman, which is defined as truth, consciousness and infinitude. And beyond that there is nothing. That is Sat, Chit and say Brahman, Anantam. So Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. And beyond that there is nothing else. So that is why Param. Beyond that there is nothing, because that is the Karanam for all Karanams. That is the cause of all causes. So that is it. Then how is it to be attained? Bhaktya labhyastu. Then what is this bhakti? Jnana lakshanaya ananyaya atma vishayaya. So Shankaracharya is very carefully qualifying that by simply doing some bhajan or something like that, you are not going to attain moksha. You may attain some happiness, you may attain some loka, some say commensurate with that bhakti. But then bhakti should be jnana lakshana bhakti. Jnana lakshanaya bhaktiya means it should be characterized as jnana. It should be classified as jnana. So that bhakti, what you say, is say jnani bhakti and not ajnani bhakti. We have seen this jnani bhakti and ajnani bhakti earlier in the 4th chapter also. Jnani karma, like jnani karma, jnani also has bhakti. Jnani also does some puja. So what jnani does is that jnani bhakti. So he knows that he is not different from that Brahman. And then he in fact one sutra from Narada Bhakti Sutra says, bhakti means sa tu asmin parama prema rupa. He says, sa tvasmin parama prema rupa. Bhakti means parama prema rupa. That is, you are in love with it. That is, as much as you love yourself, you are in love with it. When you are worshipping a deity, you are in love with it. So that is what it means. Satu asmin parama prema rupa. So just as one self is most dear to him, he also feels that God is, that particular deity is dear to him, and he does not see it as apart from him. He sees it as that supreme thing only. So that is it. So Ananyaya, Atma Vishayaya. So these two things are there. Ananya is one, Atma Vishaya. It is something about his own self. That deity is not different from my own self. So that is how he looks at it. Atma Vishayaya. Yasya Purushasya Antasthani Madhyasthani Karyabhutani Bhutani. So all these things, Bhutani, all the beings, you call it beings, you call it objects, you call it lokas, whatever it is, all these things, they are all Madhyasthani. They are in it. In it means, what does it mean? Madhya. Madhya means in. What does it mean? Karya Bhutani. These are all Karya. Madhyasthani, Tasya Antasthani does not mean that you take a huge bag and put all these things in that. This is the Karanam for all the Karanams. Karanam is cause. So we know this cause effect chain, and if you lead up, go up to the top, then beyond that Brahman there is nothing else. So that is the Karana of all Karanas. So from that point of view, all the beings are Karya Bhutani. They are Karyams only. They are all its effects. What all we see, the universe we see, the Hiranyagarbha, the deities we imagine, or the lokas which we visualize, are all these things in that supreme consciousness only. So that is it. Karyam hi karanasya antarvarti bhavati. Okay, this is again just an elaboration. Karyam hi, he means yasmat, because karyam is always in the karanam. Karyam is in the karanam. A simple example is, Ghatam is in clay. Ghatam, or a pot, is in clay. Clay is in, say, earth in general. The earth or bhumi or prithvi is in general in jalam. So like that, one merges into the other, one resolves into the other. If you go back and back and back, so then ultimately you reach up to that Brahman. You negate everything and then you reach up to that Brahman. So karyami karanasya antarvartir bhavati. Yena purushena sarvamidam jagat tatam vyaptam akasheneva ghatadi iva. Just as all this ghata means any object. Ghata need not be pot. You may be vexed with this example of pot. You take an object. Let us from now on say Ghata means not a part, it means an object. All the objects, Vyaptam Akashena Ghatadi Vyaptam, all the objects are pervaded. Vyaptam means pervaded. Pervaded by this Akasha. Anything you visualize, any object you visualize, they are all in the space. So likewise, this Purusha, he who encompasses everything, who covers everything, who pervades everything, Sarvamidam Jagat Tatam Vyaptam. The whole universe is pervaded by that Purusha. That is the meaning here. So in this shloka, what did we see? Here we saw that Bhakti means Jnana Lakshana. Bhakti does not mean doing some bhajan and all that. Bhakti means your Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, contemplation. So that is the thing. The Ananya Bhakti. Not even Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, because Shankaracharya is not very clearly saying whether it is Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. But on the other hand, he is going to say Kalantara Mukti. Kalantara Mukti, when he says, it means it is Ahamgraha Upasana. It is a type of Omkara Upasana. We were also seeing that Om Ityekaksharam Brahma, that is the context. It is the Upasana of that. And while doing that Upasana, he has gone to a higher level, and then he is doing that Ananya Bhakti. So if it is Shravana Manana Nididhyasana, there is no Krama Mukti. Shravana Manana Nididhyasana means directly moksha. That is what is called Sadhyo Mukti. Here we are calling it Krama Mukti. So you may note down these two words, Krama Mukti as opposed to Sadhyo Mukti. Sadhyo Mukti is in the case of Jnani. Sadhyo Mukti is in the case of a Jnani. Krama Mukti is in the case of an Upasaka. In the case of somebody who is in the Dhyana Marga. We are now discussing somebody who is doing this Omkara Upasana. So that is the thing. Then Bhakti. Then another point is, this is something which is this results in Krama Mukti, and this is also called Devayana. Devayana means the divine path. The Devayana. We are going to see that in the subsequent commentary. So this is what we saw in this shloka. Let us see the next thing. Prakrutanam yoginam pranavaveshita brahmabuddhinam kalantara muktibhajam brahma pratipattaye uttaro margo vaktavyaiti yatra kale ityadi vivakshitārtha samarpanārtham uchyate. So here he is talking about the general giving the avatarika, he is giving the context. Prakrutanam yoginam pranavaveshita brahmabuddhinam kalantara muktibhajam. So these people, pranavaveshita buddhayah, that is those whose minds are fixed on that pranava. Pranave aveshita buddhi. Pranave yasya buddhihi aveshita. So he is a pranavaveshita buddhi. Aveshita means that which is kept. So your mind is totally kept on that pranava only. Once your mind is in that pranava only, pranava aveshita buddhi. We say that avesha. When God is avesha on this person, somebody we see in festivals, there is some woman on whom that Deva, the God avesha. We say that God is avesha, and they say aveshamayindi, we say in Telugu. So like that avesha means it has come down on that. So here it means pranava aveshita buddhi means you have kept your attention, you have focused your attention on that pranava only. So for those people, they are the people who are now being discussed. Prakrutana means those who are under question now, those who are being discussed. Prakruta means not that Prakruti, not that Prakruti, Maya, etc. Prakrutam means in the present context. What is the topic? Present context, we are discussing these Dhyana yogis who are doing this Omkara Upasana, isn't it? So that is the meaning here. Prakrutanam yoginam pranavaveshita brahmabuddhinam. For those who are treating this Omkara as Brahman. Pranave brahmabuddhihi aveshitaha or athava avishtaha. Pranave in Omkara, Brahma Buddhi means thinking that is Pranava is Brahman, that Buddhi is Aveshita. So you are thinking that Omkara is Brahman. So for those people, who are they again? Kalantara Mukti Bhajam. They are going to get this Kalantara Mukti. Those who are going to attain Kalantara Mukti. Kalantara Mukti means Krama Mukti. Krama Mukti and Kalantara Mukti are one and the same. Kalantara means later. at a later date. Kalantara, kala plus antara, kalantara at a later date. Kalantare muktim prapnuvanti. So they are the kalantara mukti bhajaha. So these mukti bhajaha. So those people, for them, Brahma pratipattaye, that is for attaining that Brahma, for attaining that, here we are talking about that Saguna Brahma, because they are all upasakas. Brahma pratipattaye, uttaro margaha vaktavya iti, yatra kale ityadi. Uttaro margaha vaktavyaha. They have to tell, one more path has to be told. Uttaro margaha means the next path. The next. Uttara does not mean north here. Uttara means the next path has to be told. Iti yatra kale ityadi. So this next shloka is starting as yatra kale ityadi. Vivachita artha samarpanartham. That is in order to convey the intended meaning. Vivachita artha samarpanam. That is in order to convey the intended meaning. Vivachita is that which is intended to be told. Artha, message. Vivachita artha samarpana. In order to convey. Samarpanam is to convey, to transmit. So samarpanartham idam uchyate. Then avrutti margopanyasaha.
Avrutti margopanyasaha.
Itara marga stutyarthaha.
Itara marga stutyarthaha.
So avrutti margopanyasaha. So he is talking about two margas. Marga means a path. Now in the next 2-3 verses, Lord Krishna is talking about two paths. One is a path from where there is no return. That is called Devayana. The other is a path from which there is a return. The other is a path from which there is a return. This we have been talking earlier also. So if we generally see the overall structure of this, say journey after death, let us say, journey after death. Death means not a total disappearance of the whole Sharira. It is only disappearance of Sthula Sharira. Only Sthula Sharira falls off. Sukshma Sharira is still there. Death does not mean Sthula Sharira. Sukshma Sharira also dies. So after the fall of the body, what is the journey of this Linga Sharira? So we can visualize, say 4 categories of people, broadly. So one is those who do all these adharma deeds. So those who do all nishiddha karma. So what happens to them? The scriptures say that they go to some bad lokas, they go to some hell, they experience all types of difficulties, and we are not talking about them, but then that also is a category. The next category is karma yoga. Those who do not only karma yoga, much before, prior to karma yoga, there are people who do some kamya karma, isn't it? So these kamya karma people, they do all these yajnas, yagas and all that, and then they want this, that, various lokas, etc. They go to a particular loka. Their path is called Pitru Loka, because they go to a particular loka. It may be called Swarga, it may be called some other loka. They spend there for some time and then they come back. Then what exactly is the journey, we will say later. Then come to this karma yogi. We have seen this Nishiddha karma, we have seen Kamya karma, you have come to this karma yogi. Karma yogi, he also does lot many karmas. But for all the karmas which he does in this janma, because he has done karma yoga, in the sense that he has not asked for this phala akanksha, he does not have any phala akanksha, he will not be getting for this. But there may be a baggage, there is baggage of previous karmas. For those previous karmas, again he has a path. All those previous karmas will again lead him through that Pitruyana only. Definitely, if he had done Devayana, he would have gone earlier itself. So we can assume very clearly that he has not done this Upasana, etc. He has only done some karma. So he will go to that Devayana, isn't it? Then again, you come to this Upasakas. Upasaka means those who do this Aham Graha Upasana, Omkara Upasana, or some Saguna Brahmopasana. You do some Upasana of some Vishnu, Upasana of Shiva, Upasana of some Shakti, whatever it is. So with all these things, you go to a particular loka. All these Upasanas, they lead you to that path. That path is also called Devayana. So that path is called Devayana as distinguished from Pitruyana. So the people who do karma, the people who are also karma yogis, they have that Pitruyana path. People who do this Upasana, they have this Devayana path. So these two things we have to see. And there are other types of people. The last category is the Jnani. For Jnani, there is no path. For Jnani, there is no Gati. Gati means movement. Shukla Gati, here we are going to see that these two are two Shukla Gati and Krishna Gati. Gati means movement. Gam Dhatu, from that we get Gati. So for Jnani, there is no Gati. Gati means movement. That is going from place to place. This going from place to place arises only when you feel that you are a finite being. You have to go from this place to another place. So you have to go from this place to some other place, say to your house somewhere, say suppose a kilometer away from you. Suppose the whole of Hyderabad is yours. The whole of Hyderabad, the entire Hyderabad is yours, let us say. Then the entire thing is yours only. There is no question of going from place to place. The entire thing is yours only. So in the case of a Jnani, when he has identified himself with that supreme consciousness, there is no question of going from place to place. So for him there is no Gati, there is no question of going from one loka to another loka. So that is why these four categories broadly we can remember. So here, Yatra Kaletu iti Vivachhitartha Samarpanartha Muchyate. Okay. Avrutti Margopanyasaha means this mentioning of this Avrutti Marga. Avrutti Marga means return. Avrutti means return. Anavrutti means no return. Punaravrutti means Punaha Avrutti, again coming back. So that is the meaning. Punaha, Punaravrutti. What is the Punaravrutti? Punaha plus Avrutti. Avrutti means return. Apunaravrutti means there is no return. Apunaravarti and say Anavartam. Anavrutti is one and the same. Avrutti and Anavrutti. Opposite of Avrutti is Anavrutti. So Avrutti Marga Upanyasaha Itara Marga Stutyarthaha. The mention of this Avrutti Marga is only to praise this Devayana Marga. So when there are two paths, suppose I say the king's the king's older wife is not beautiful. Suppose I say, what does it mean? The king's younger wife is beautiful. So in order to praise the younger wife, I am telling about the older wife, isn't it? So that is how this Avrutti Marga is something like king's older wife. So this Avrutti Marga Upanyasa means this discussion on this path, returning path, this discussion about this return journey is only to praise that journey which is leading you, giving you a green channel. You are going on a temporary visa and coming back. Instead of that, you are getting a citizenship somewhere in Switzerland and then staying there. So that is that Devayana. So that is how you can understand it. So Avrutti Marga Upanyasaha Itara Marga Stutyarthaha. In order to praise or in order to distinguish and commend the other path, you are discussing this Nivrutti Marga, this Avrutti Marga also. Then let us see this sloka. Yatra kale tvanavrittim avrittim chaiva yoginaha prayata yanti tam kalam vakshyami bharatarshabha. So Krishna is saying, hey Bharatarshabha, O supreme person O great man among this in this Bharata clan, I am going to tell you, tam kalam vakshyami, I am going to tell you about that kalam. So here, kala does not refer to time. Here the one important thing we have to note is, kalam does not refer to time, kalam refers to path, marga. Kala refers to a marga, it refers to a devata. You can note down, kala refers to marga and also it refers to devata. And it does not refer to the time as we say. So here when we say yatra kale tu anavrutyam, yatra kale means yasmin marge we have to take, not yasmin kale, we have to take it as yasmin marge, the path in which or the god through which, the path in which or the god or the deity through which. So yatra kale tu anavrutyam avrutyam chaiva. So there are these yoginaha we are referring to both the categories because now we are referring to two paths. So when we are referring to two paths, we have to refer to two types of say travelers. So one type of traveler is a dhyana yogi for whom he goes by Devayana. Another type of traveler is a karma yogi and also a karmatha. Karma yogi plus karmatha. Karma yogi because of his past karmas, not because of the present karmas. Karmatha because of the present karmas also. So these two people, they go to Pitruyana. So this Devayana and Pitruyana are two journeys or two paths undertaken by two types of travelers, let us say. Two types of travelers. Who are these people? This Yoginaha here, you have to know, you can note down. Yoginaha means these yogis, plural. Yogi, Yogina, Yoginaha. Who are these Yoginaha? You have to take both Dhyana Yogi and Karmata. You can note down there. Dhyana Yogi and Karmatas. And also Karma Yogis. Karma Yogi also is included. So because technically, if we say Karma Yoga, somebody may say, okay, Karma Yoga, he is not getting the fruit of action. How can he go? So there is a past, all the past karmas are there. So let us say Karma Yogi means Dhyana Yogi on one hand, this Karmatas on another hand. So these people, Avrittim Chaiva, Anavrittim, Avrittim Chaiva Yoginaha, Prayata Yanti. Prayataha means Prayanam. We know Prayanam. Prayanam is journey. Prayataha means those who have journeyed, those who have travelled, those who have, after the fall of the body, they have gone, those who have travelled. So that is the mean. Tat yatra prayata, prayata yanti. Yanti means gachanti. Gachanti. Tam kalam vakshyami. That particular path or that particular deity I am going to say. So the main thing we have to note down here is kalam refers to a devata or a marga. Then yoginaha means both dhyana yoginaha and karmatas. So that is it. So let us see this commentary. Yatra kale prayataha iti
Yatra kale prayataha iti
vyavahitena sambandhaha.
Vyavahitena sambandhaha.
So this word vyavahitena, now and then you get. Vyavahitena means, so this kale is in the first line, isn't it? Yatra kale yatra kale tvanavrittim avrittim chaiva yoginaha. Prayata is at a distance, isn't it? Vyavahitena means that which is at a distance, that which is say separated, that which is at a distance, let us say. Vyavahitena shabdena sambandhaha. Iti vyavahitena sambandhaha means vyavahitena shabdena sambandhaha. That is, the connection is with that word which is far away. Connection you have to establish with this word, with a faraway word. So that is the meaning of vyavahita. Vyavahitena sambandhaha means vyavahitena shabdena sambandhaha. So yatra kale, it is connecting to prayata. That means the people who have journeyed, say the route in which they have journeyed, the route or the marga, and also the devata through which the people have journeyed. That is the sambandha. Sambandha means that is the connection. That is the anvaya. You have to take it like that. Yatra yasmin kaletu anavrittim apunarjanmam janmam avrittim tad viparitam chaiva. So he says, that is, yatra means that path in which, or that God in which, yatra yasmin kaletu anavrittim apunaravritti. Anavritti is equal to apunaravritti, that is no return. That is the Devayana marga. Devayana and Pitruyana in contrast to Pitruyana. That is avrittim tad viparitam. Avrittim is return. Tad viparitam is that which is opposed to the earlier one. Tad viparitam chaiva. Then yoginaha iti yoginaha karminascha uchyante. So he is very clearly saying, by the word yoginaha, you have to take this dhyana yoginaha and also this karminaha. Karminaha means karmata, as we call. Karmata is somebody who is addicted to karma. Maybe karmi is a better word. Karminaha is the plural. Karminaha is a better word than karmata, because karmata is somebody, it is something, a slightly insulting term. It is a slightly pejorative or insulting term. So we can avoid that karmata, we can take it as karminaha, because karminaha is a better word. So karminaha uchyante. So you are including both, say dhyana yoginaha and also karminaha by the word this yoginaha in this shloka. Then karminastu gunataha karma yogena yoginam iti visheshanat yoginaha yatra kale prayata mruta yoginaha anavrittim yanti. Okay, this will come later. Karminastu gunataha. Karminastu gunataha means, how can you call, somebody may question, how can you call this karminaha as Yoginah. Karma is different and yoga is different. Yoga means that dhyana yoga is different. How can you call this karminah as yoginah? He says gunataha. Gunataha means in a metaphorical sense. In a rather figurative, not metaphorical, in a figurative sense. Figurative is the correct word. Gunataha, that is in a figurative sense. Why? Karma yogena yoginam iti visheshanat. Karma yogena yoginam. We have seen that word yoginam used in where? The third say adhyaya. What is that first shloka? Third adhyaya first shloka says Jnana yogena sankyanam karma yogena yoginam. Lokesmin dvividhanishta pura prokta mayanagha. Karma yogena dhyana. What is that? Jnana yogena sankyanam karma yogena yoginam. So Lord Krishna himself is using that word yogi for this karminah. So let us use the same word is used here. So that is what he says. So karma yogena yoginam iti visheshanat. Then yoginah, then the other type of yoginah. Yatra kale prayataha. Prayataha means mrutaha yoginah. Then anavrittim yanti.
Anavrittim yanti.
Yatra kale cha prayataha.
Yatra kale cha prayataha.
Avrittim yanti.
Avrittim yanti.
Tam kalam vakshyami.
Tam kalam vakshyami.
Bharatarshabha.
Bharatarshabha.
Okay, hey Bharatarshabha, oh mighty man among in this Bharata clan, I am going to tell you the path. Yatra kale, that is the path in which. Yatra kale means you should always dismiss that idea of time from your mind. The path from in which prayataha means gataha, mrutaha gataha, yoginah anavrittim yanti. That is, they go in that non-returning path. Let us say, let us coin a word, non-returning path. The one is a non-returning path and one is a returning path. One is a one-way ticket and the other is a two-way ticket. A non-returning path, they yanti. Then yatra kalecha prayata avrittim yanti. And that route, which is a returning path, I am going to tell you what is that non-returning path and what is that returning path. Avrittim yanti. Tam kalam vakshyami. I am going to tell you that particular path or that particular devata through which you are going to attain it. Why do you say that? How can you say this kalam as say devata? That we are going to see in the next shloka. So tam kalam aha.
Tam kalam aha.
So he is going to say that particular path. Let us read this shloka. Agnirjyotirah shuklaha.
Agnirjyotirah shuklaha.
Shanmasa uttarayanam.
Shanmasa uttarayanam.
Tatra prayata gachanti.
Tatra prayata gachanti.
Brahma vido janaha.
Brahma vido janaha.
So he is first telling about the non-returning path. You can note it here. It is talking about, this shloka is talking about the non-returning path which is called Devayana. Devayana, that is, Yanam means we know. When you travel by train also you see the Shayanayan, sleeper. So something like that, Devayana, where the gods they conduct you. Where Devayana, Yana means travel, journey. Devayana means it is a journey which is conducted by the Deva. It is conducted by a god, which is conducted by virtue of intelligence, consciousness. The meaning of Deva is intelligence. Divyate. Divyate iti Devaha. So the why that is told, I am going to tell you. So Devayana, you can note it, and it is also called Archiradi Marga, because this word also is used somewhere in the commentary. Archiradi Marga, it is called Devayana. And this is for this Sagunopasaka. Sagunopasaka means where you have attributed some gunas, some characteristics into the Brahman and you have done that upasana. You call it Vishnu. Vishnu is a Saguna Brahma. Then Shiva, when you say Shiva, Parameshwara as you call it, that is a Saguna Brahma. You call it Shakti, that again is a Saguna Brahma. So all these things, they lead to one particular place only. You may visualize in a different way, but then they lead to the same Devayana. They are called the Devayana. So let us see this thing. Shloka. Agnir Jyoti Raha Shuklaha. Then Agnihi Jyotihi Ahaha Shuklaha. Agni. Agni is not time, isn't it? Agni is an object. Agni is some fire. Or you call it the deity which say by virtue of which or by the power of which this Agni shines. So there is one word we have to see here. Agni, we are going to see the commentary. Agni Abhimanini Devata. Then Jyotihi, Jyotirabhimanini Devata. Then Ahaha, Aharabhimanini Devata. We are getting this word Abhimani Devata. Abhimani Devata, have you heard this word? Abhimani Devata. So in our tradition, say even for Indriyas, even for our own body and our own Karmendriyas and Jnanendriyas, there are Abhimani Devatas. Abhimani Devata means, suppose you take the eye. Eye, the Abhimani Devata is Surya. That is, because of the benevolence or anugraha, because of that anugraha or benevolence of that Surya, this eye is able to function. So eye corresponds to that light Tejaha, isn't it? Eye comes out of the Sattvikamsha of that particular Tejas, isn't it? We know these Pancha Tanmatras. These Pancha Tanmatras, the Sattvikamshas are responsible for our 5 senses, isn't it? So these things are referred to as deities. These things from which these senses are derived. Eye is derived from the Sattvikamsha of this Tejas. Tejas is Surya. Then suppose my sense of smell, it is derived from the Sattvikamsha of Pruthivi. So that becomes the this Abhimani Devata. So I is the Abhimani Devata for say my eye, the Surya or the sun becomes the Abhimani Devata for my eye. Then again, for example, Vayu becomes the Abhimani Devata for my Tvak, sense of Sparsha. So like that you have got, and Indra, for example, Indra, he is a man of action, isn't it? Indra, the god of all, the lord of all gods, he is a man of action. So he is said to be the Abhimana Devata for hand, because anything good or bad you do with a hand only. So like that, so hand, the Abhimani Devata is Indra. So like that, even in the body, we have visualized certain Abhimani Devatas. So likewise, for the other things in the, say, various things which we find in the cosmos, like Agni, all these things, for them also, we have visualized some, our tradition has visualized some Abhimani Devata. So when you say Agni, you are not referring to that physical Agni. You are referring to that Abhimani Devata. So that particular divine form, divine entity, let us say, divine form, which is responsible for this Agni. So that is called the Abhimani Devata. Then Jyotihi. Jyoti again not very much different from Jyoti, maybe slightly different from Agni, maybe slight difference we may be able to draw. This Jyotir Abhimani Devata, any type of light. Then Ahaha means, Ahas is day. Day Abhimani Devata. That is, there is one particular deity which is say influencing this day. Then Ahaha Shuklaha. Shuklaha means Shukla Pakshaha. Shukla Paksha means the bright fortnight in the day, in the month. Shukla Paksha is the bright fortnight. Krishna Paksha is the dark fortnight. So here we are referring to the bright fortnight in a month. Then Shanmasaha Uttarayanam. This Shanmasa Uttarayanam is that 6 months where the sun is in that northern solstice. Northern solstice, that is Uttarayana Punyakalam we say. That is supposed to be the auspicious time. That is the general belief according to the Puranas. No, but now we are now seeing that it is not a time to which it is referring. It is referring to the Abhimani Devata. So it does not matter when a person dies. So all this, why this Abhimani Devata concept is told is, let us imagine a criminal who has done all evil deeds. He dies during that Uttarayanam. So according to this, he has to jolly well go to Swarga only. He has to jolly well go to, say, what is this, in that Devayana path, he has to go to that Punyam, attain that Punyam. Then another, on the other hand, a very, very saintly man, he dies in the night, Ratri, Dhumo, Ratrihi, in the next shloka we are going to see. Or he dies in the Krishna Paksha, that is the dark fortnight of a month. Or he dies in Dashinayanam, a very, very saintly man whom we know that he has done all good deeds only, and everybody accepts he is a saint. So such a man, he dies and he will go to say this Avrutti Marga, he will go to that Pitruyana, isn't it? So that should not happen, isn't it? So that is why there is a big discussion on this in Brahma Sutras. In the Brahma Sutras, there are a few adhikaranas which say what exactly does this mean. There is one adhikarana called Ativahika Adhikarana. Ativahika Adhikarana, that comes in this 4th Adhyaya, 3rd Pada, 4-3-4, you can note down, 4-3-4 of Brahma Sutras. It is called Ativahika Adhikarana, Ativahika. Ativahaka is, it refers to a Devata. Ativahaka means, Ati means beyond, Vahaka means one who carries, vehicle. Vahaka means a vehicle. The Vahaka and vehicle are one and the same. Ativahaka means a vehicle beyond. Once the body falls off, there is this Linga Sharira. This Linga Sharira again is inert. And then the Marga, the path also is inert, isn't it? Insentient. This Linga Sharira is insentient and the path also is insentient. So these two things this thing has to be carried to that place. So you need a carrier. It is something like a luggage only. This Linga Sharira becomes like a luggage after the death, and then this has to be carried to some other place. And there again this becomes active, and then in that loka it enjoys. That is a different thing. So anyway, these are all certain speculations. What we can say, all say transcendental speculations, which we cannot prove. These are only postulations, let us say, transcendental postulations. So this Ativahika Devata, there is an Adhikaranam belonging to in that name, Ativahika Adhikaranam. So that Adhikaranam discusses this particular say thing, because these lines of Krishna, they are again from Upanishads only. Krishna does not say, or Bhagavad Gita does not say anything which is not there in the Upanishads. So all these things, Agnir, Jyotirah, Shuklaha, etc., they are all mentioned in different places in Upanishads. So taking those Upanishadic lines, there is a discussion in Brahma Sutra as to whether we have to take these things as time only, or we have to take it as in what sense you have to take. Are they simply some say places of halt? Are they some bhoga bhumis? Bhoga bhumi means some places of enjoyment. What exactly, in what manner we have to take? So there the settled discussion, after a long discussion, the settled decision is that all these things they refer to this Ativahika Devatas. Agni does not mean to Agni, physical Agni. Ahas does not mean to day. Then Uttarayanam does not mean only to Uttarayanam. This discussion also takes place. That is, suppose a sinner, he dies in Uttarayanam, he has to go to heaven. And a very saintly man, he dies in Dashinayanam, he has to go to hell. So all these things cannot happen. So which means that the Upanishad, meaning of the Upanishadic line is something different. So that is how, after some discussion, they say that this Kala is not referring to this time, a particular time. It is not referring to that particular time. It is only referring to that Ativahika Devata and also to that path. And in that path, both the path and also the traveler, both are insentient. So that is why you have to have some carrier, something like a DHL or some other thing. There is a carrier which takes this Linga Sharira to that particular loka. So Brahma loka in this particular case. So let us see this thing. Agnir Jyotirah Shuklaha Shanmasa Uttarayanam Tatra Prayataha Gachanti. Tatra means Tasmin Marge. In that particular thing, Prayataha, those who have departed, Gachanti Brahma. Brahma here we have to take as Saguna Brahma. We are not talking of Nirguna Brahma here. We have to note it as Brahma means Saguna Brahma or Hiranyagarbha Brahma. Brahmavido Janaha. Hiranyagarbha Brahma, Brahmavidaha Janaha. Brahmavidaha means not that Brahma with Brahmaiva Bhavati. So at every place you have to see the word. Brahmavidaha does not refer to Brahma with Brahmaiva Bhavati, not a person who has come through that Shravana Manana Nididhyasana channel. He has come through Upasana channel. So we have to see that this Shravana, this man, Brahmavida means a Upasaka. So this Upasaka, they reach that Brahma, Saguna Brahma. So if he is a Vishnu Upasaka, he calls it Vaikuntham, isn't it? So Vishnu, for this Vishnu Upasakas, the highest thing is Vaikuntham only. And that thing is nothing but this. Then for suppose a Shiva Upasaka, the highest thing is Kailasa. So the highest thing attained, what Kailasa, what Shiva, Shaivite calls a Kailasa is nothing but this. Or some Shakteya. Shakti, what is the highest place for Shakteyas? For the Shaktis, what is in that Shakti Sampradaya, what is the highest place? Lalita Sahasranama, that Manidvipa, whatever it is, that Manidvipa, some such say place they say. So that Manidvipa is nothing but this. Or some other Sampradaya, Rama Sampradaya, Rama's Sampradaya, Rama Sampradaya, the highest place or highest loka is supposed to be Saketa Loka. Saketa Sarvabhauma we say. Then Krishna, suppose the Krishna worshippers, ISKCON people and all that, for them the highest place is Goloka. So whatever is the tradition or whatever is the, say, tradition of worship, let us say. You see, in India or under Hinduism or under the umbrella of this Upanishadic philosophy, there are so many religious systems which are existing. And all these things are existing simultaneously. All of us, we are neither Shaivites nor Vaishnavas nor anything, we worship all gods. It doesn't matter. And then, okay, you take your own tradition or your own household practice is there. In your house there is what is called Ishtadevata, and then you have been worshipping that Ishtadevata. And some of us may step onto the Jnana path, that is a different thing. But there are some hardcore Vaishnavas, there are some hardcore Shaivites, there are some hardcore Shakti Sampradaya people. For them also, it doesn't matter. All these paths, again, it is collectively called Devayana only. So that is what we have to see. All these religious systems, let us say, are functioning under the same Upanishadic umbrella, in the same umbrella of these Brahma Sutras, in the same umbrella of the Bhagavad Gita. So these Prasthana Traya, as we call it. Prasthana Traya is Gita, Brahma Sutra and Upanishads. These three are called Prasthana Traya. So that forms the umbrella under which all these religious systems function in a very homogeneous way, in a very simultaneous and homogeneous way, without clashing. There is no contradiction among all these in these people. Some hardcore Vaishnava may quarrel with some hardcore Shiva and vice versa. But then generally speaking, the common man or common believer, he has nothing to do with that. So anyway, here Brahmavido Janaha. Brahmavidaha, we have to take it as Upasakas. Let us see the Bhashyam. Agnir Jyotiriti. Agnihi Kalabhimanini Devata. Tatha Jyotihi Devataiva Kalabhimanini. So Abhimanini, I explained that word Abhimani Devata. That is that particular God form or divine form which is influencing a particular function or which particular manifestation. Agni is a particular manifestation. Ahas is a manifestation. Shukla is a manifestation. So all these things you are visualizing an Abhimani Devata. So by that Abhimani Devata is supposed to lead these people. Then Athava Agnir Jyotishi Yathashrute Eva Devate. So otherwise, Athava means otherwise, Agni and Jyotishi, you may take it as themselves as gods. Agni is a Devata, and instead of taking it as Abhimani Devata, you can take Agni itself as a Devata, Jyoti itself as a Devata. You can take like that. Then next, Bhuyasam tu Nirdeshaha. Yatra kale tam kalamiti. Amra vanavat. Okay. Bhuyasam tu Nirdeshaha. Yatra kale tam kalam. So he is referring to that earlier shloka. Yatra kale tvanavrittim. Yatra kale. That is, instead of kala, you said yatra marge. Why that thing he is explaining yatra kale tu. But in this here, in this shloka, we said agnihi, jyotihi, ahaha, shuklaha. Agni is not kalam. Jyoti is not kalam. Why you used that word kala? He is referring to it here. Yatra kale tam kalamiti amra vanavat. Amra vanam. Amra vanam is a mango garden. Amra is mango. Amra vanam is mango garden. When you say the word mango garden, it does not mean that all trees, all mango trees only are there. There may be some other small bushes, there may be some other petty trees. But then, in spite of all that, you are calling it Amravanam, isn't it? There may be some other one odd trees of other types also. One odd big trees also may be there, other types. So similarly, here in the long list of things which are mentioned here, Agni and Jyoti are the only two non-Kalavachakas. Other things, Ahaha, Shuklaha, Uttarayanam, etc., they are predominantly Kalavachakas. So because there is a predominance of Kalavachakas, the word Kala is used. So that is what he is saying. Because there is a predominance, more Kalavachaka Shabdas are there. So that is why this Kalavachaka Shabda is used. So that is the meaning. Bhuyasam Nirdeshaha. Bhuyasam means Bhuyasam, whatever is predominant. Bhuyas. Bhuyasi means the whatever is dominant. Bhuyan means whatever is dominant. So whatever devata is, whatever thing is predominant here, that has been told. So that is why the word kala is used, say for all these things. Because ahas is there, shuklaha is there, shanmasa, uttarayanam are there, only agni and jyoti are say non-kalavachakas. So that is why kala shabda is used. So that is the explanation here. Tam kalam iti amra vanavat. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yatha
Yatha
ahar devata
ahar devata
ahaha
ahaha
shuklaha shuklapaksha devata
shuklaha shuklapaksha devata
षण्मासा उत्तरायणम
षण्मासा उत्तरायणम
तत्रापि देवतैव
तत्रापि देवतैव
मार्गभूता
मार्गभूता
इति स्थितः
इति स्थितः
अन्यत्र न्यायः
अन्यत्र
न्यायः. Okay, so Amravanavat is over. Yatha ahar devata ahaha. So this ahar devata, this abhimani devata, which is say influencing the day, the phenomena called day. So you are visualizing or you are imagining one abhimani devata for day. So that devata. Then shuklaha shuklapaksha devata. This shuklapaksha, you are visualizing or you are imagining a particular divine form which is influencing this. Then uttarayanam, shanmasa uttarayanam, tatrapi devataiva margabhuta. Even there, tatrapi means even there, devata eva margabhuta. Devata only is intended there, margabhuta. Margabhuta means it is becoming the marga. Devata itself is the marga. Then iti sthitaha anyatra nyayaha. Iti sthitaha means this has been established elsewhere. Anyatra nyayaha sthitaha. That is sthitaha anyatra nyayaha. That is this thing has been established elsewhere. Elsewhere means we are referring to that Brahma Sutra only. In that Brahma Sutra, Ativahika Adhikaranam, it has been established that all these things they are referring to this Ativahika Devatas and not to Kalam. Anyatra Nyayaha, you have to take it as this Brahma Sutra. Margabhuta iti sthitaha tatrapi devataiva margabhuta iti sthitaha anyatra nyayaha. Anyatra means elsewhere. Elsewhere means in that Brahma Sutra. In that Brahma Sutra it has been established. Then tatra tasmin marge prayataha mrutaha gachanti brahma brahmavidaha brahmopasana janaha kramena iti vakya sheshaha. Okay, so here you see 2 points are told. Tatra tasmin marge prayataha. Those who have departed in that path. Tasmin marge means in that path. Prayataha, those who have departed. Gachanti brahma. Brahma means here we have to take it as Saguna Brahma. Then here Brahmavidaha Brahmopasana paraha janaha. Those who do this Saguna Brahma Upasana, those who do this meditation on this form, Brahman with form, those who do meditation on Brahman with form is called Saguna Brahma. So those people, they attain this moksha. How? Kramena iti vakya sheshaha. Vakya shesha means something which has not been told in the sentence, but we have to presume. Vakya shesha means that which has to be presumed in the sentence. You may note down. Vakya shesha means that which has to be presumed in a sentence. It has not been told here, but then you have to presume it. You have to take it. So kramena iti vakya sheshaha. Why? Because following the whole logic, following the entire logic, because these people have not come on this Shravana Manana Nididhyasana path, nor are they totally down like this Karminaha. So these people are in this intermediate level. Intermediate level means they are above this Karminaha, they are below this Jnaninaha. So this intermediate level people, they go through that Devayana. So that is the point. Kramena iti vakya sheshaha. This kramena, the word has to be assumed. It has to be presumed. Not assumed, presumed. Kramena means krama mukti. It is not sadhyo mukti, but krama mukti. That is in a gradual manner. That means, what is this gradual manner? They go to this Brahmaloka. They will be there in that Brahmaloka along with that Brahmaloka in that environment. And in that environment, this jnanam automatically dawns on them because of the good deeds which they have done over a period of time. Jnanam dawns on them, and then along with that Hiranyagarbha, these people, they attain moksha at the end of this whole kalpa. Isn't it? So that kalpa I explained to you in the last classes. Anyway, okay. Nahi
नहि
sadyo mukti bhajam
सद्यो मुक्ति भाजां
samyak darshana nishthanam
सम्यक् दर्शन निष्ठानां
gatihi agatirva kvachidasti
गतिः आगतिर्वा क्वचिदस्ति
न तस्य प्राणा उत्क्रामन्ति
न तस्य प्राणा उत्क्रामन्ति
इति श्रुतेः
इति श्रुतेः
ब्रह्म संलीन प्राणा एव ते
ब्रह्म संलीन प्राणा एव ते
ब्रह्ममयाः ब्रह्मभूता एव ते.
ब्रह्ममयाः ब्रह्मभूता एव ते.
Okay, so these two lines you can put it in brackets because this is Shankaracharya is commenting on this Jnanis. Nahi, starting from Nahi Brahma Bhuta Evate, you can keep it in bracket. This is referring to this Jnanis. Because again, immediately after that, he is switching over to the Karma Mukti people. So here, he is talking about this Sadhyo Mukti. Nahi Sadhyo Mukti Bhajam. Sadhyo Mukti Bhajam means for those who are entitled for this Sadhyo Mukti. Sadhyo Mukti Bhak is the word. Sadhyo Mukti Bhak. Sadhyo Muktim Bhajati. He attains Sadhyo Mukti. He is called Sadhyo Mukti Bhak. Sadhyo Mukti Bhajam is the Shashti Bahuvachanam, the possessive case plural. That is the Sadhyo Mukti Bhajam. That is for those who get this Sadhyo Mukti. In the case of those people who attain that Sadhyo Mukti, who are they again? Samyak Darshana Nishthanam. These people are Samyak Darshana Nishtha. That is, they are quite well established in this Samyak Darshana, that is the right understanding. Samyak Darshana means right understanding, correct understanding. Then for them, Gatihi Agatirva na kvachidasti. For them, there is no going and there is no coming back. Gatihi means going. Agati means coming back. For them, there is no going or returning. There is no question of going at all. Why? Na tatra prana utkramanti iti shrutehe. So he is telling one Shruti also. Is it from Brihadaranyaka?
Yes, sir.
What does it say? Where is it?
4-4-6.
Okay, 4-1. Natasya prana utkramanti iti shrutehe. Because the Shruti also says, for such a jnani, for this Sadhyo Mukti Bhak, so the prana, they don't utkramanti. Utkramanam actually means this journey. The body falls off. This linga sharira, again say pindikuta antahkarana, that is all these things, all these antahkarana, etc., they become almost they become immobile. They are themselves not in a position to go. So that is why these ativahikas, they come and then they carry them. So that is the meaning. That is what is told again in that Brahma Sutra Bhashya. So here, for these people, their pranas, they don't utkramanti. There is no question of further travel. There is no question of further journey because the body, physical body falls off here, and then this the vital airs, they merge in this say the Ananta Vayu. Ananta Vayu means this all pervading Vayu. Then again, what happens to this senses? The sense organs again merge in these Panchabhutas, because these 5 senses have come from these 5 elements only. These 5 sense organs, they merge in these 5 bhutas. So that is the end of this man. So the account becomes 0. So it is not, that is the case of a jnani. So there is no question of the jnani's existence after the fall of the body. This body again is burnt to ashes, and then this chap, the linga sharira also disappears. It just gets absorbed rather. So natasya prana utkramanti iti shrutehe. Then brahma samlina prana eva te. So these people, they are brahma samlina prana. So their pranas, they are merged in that Brahman. Samlina. Samlina means totally merged in that Brahman. Then Brahmamayaha Brahmabhuta evate. They are Brahmamayaha. They have become Brahman. Brahmabhutaha. They have become Brahman. Brahmamayaha Brahmabhutaha. Twice he is saying, they have merged into Brahman. They have become Brahman. Brahmabhuta evate. Then he is switching over the subject. Kramena tu gachanti.
Kramena tu gachanti.
Brahmavido janaha.
Brahmavido janaha.
So this is the last 2 lines, you have to keep it in bracket. Otherwise you may confuse. Kramena tu gachanti. Kramena tu. On the other hand. Tu is on the other hand. Kramena gachanti Brahma. Brahmavido janaha. These Brahmavido janaha. So this in between he has just made a comment on this Jnanis. So but then he is coming back to this Brahmavido janaha. Those Saguna Brahmopasaka, all these people who do this upasana, they what happens to them? Kramena gachanti. So they go in a gradual way. they go in a gradual way. That is the first step is that Hiranyagarbhaloka, and from there they attain mukti. So that is the meaning. The time is over. Okay, we'll stop here. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.